Greetings and welcome back once again to my channel. This is Madame Sharkany. I posted a guardian angel reading earlier today, and when I did so, I said it was one of two readings that I would be posting today. And as a result, I am also posting a Viking rune reading for the collective. And the runes that we have today are Ansus, Berkano or Berkana, and Kelk. Each symbolizing the situation. Ansu symbolizes the situation. Berkano or Berkana symbolizes the challenge. And Kelk symbolizes the outcome, or we could look at it as past, present, and future. Regardless, Ansu's is in reverse, or I believe it is Merkstave or Markstave. I don't usually read runes in reverse, but I will for the collective. We have Ansus, and in the Viking oracle cards, this card of the man with an open mouth symbolizes or is used to represent Ansus. So therefore, while looking at the mouth, you can understand that this card has a lot to do with speaking, communication, putting thoughts onto paper, sending messages, receiving messages, using the power of speech in order to effect change, understanding, togetherness, community. It connects people, but here it is in reverse. And what that says to me is that at the heart of the situation, communication has been abused and has been misused. As the subject matter for the situation, it shows me that communication has not been utilized effectively in order to assist or compel an outcome. Now, in the outcome of this reading, we have Kelk. And Kelk is supposed to symbolize a chalice, a cup, or the Holy Grail. And the Holy Grail is about achieving the most magnificent outcome that one could possibly dream of or expect. The Kelk is, as a cup or a chalice, is used to share with others. It is used for offerings, but mostly this rune is meant to exemplify the Holy Grail, that which is offered either to the gods and goddesses of which you worship, or to your friends and family in communion with one another. It is an offering suggesting that one will get what one desires. But when you look at it from the perspective of the Holy Grail, it is the most greatest, most, I can't think of the words. When you think of offering a cup of magnificent fortitude, it means that you will receive the happiest outcome you could have possibly dreamt of. Something you had been dreaming of for a very long time occurs for you. And you might do it through community or sharing with others. But regardless, this Kelk rune is about offerings that you might make or offerings that are being made to you. And then the middle rune, which is usually a challenge or it is the present circumstance, is Berkano. And as you see with Berkano, you see a seed and it is growing to life. Berkano is usually associated with the birch tree, and the bark of a birch tree was utilized for many helpful reasons. I even remember as a child would use birch as a form of paper. And as you see here, we have Ansus in reverse, and we have Berkano, and the birch bark that could be used as a form of writing. So obviously there has been some issues with written word or communication, and calc is an offering that is going to be made. So in the past, you may have not been communicating with someone properly, and in the present, somebody is going to be communicating with you or requiring you to communicate with them, and you will have the tools necessary to communicate with somebody in a manner that will bring enlightenment and happiness that you've previously been blocked from doing. I also picked a bind rune that shows protection in this situation. In addition to that, Berkano also symbolizes birth and new beginnings. So some of you out there in the past may have not been communicating about a birth or a pregnancy that is occurring in your life, whether it be a real childbirth or an absolute birth. Calc has to do with offerings. This could be a new birth of a connection to the divine, to a new religious value system, whereas before you were incapable of receiving messages from the divine, and you were incapable of receiving communication with the divine or connecting with the divine, God, or the gods. But now you are being given that opportunity to give birth to a new connection, new offerings, and receiving new messages and gifts and love from the divine. Quite often in tarot, a cup or cups having to do with emotions, love, and comfort. That emotion, those emotions, especially in the Ace of Cups, this is messages and intuition from the divine. So previously you did not receive those messages, but now you are in connection with a flow to the spirit realm, to the divine, to love, and to affection. Furthermore, Berkano, although I would like to reiterate, this might mean the birth of a child and the offerings that come with having given birth to a child. Berkano also has to do with the sacred pact of silence and not speaking and remaining quiet about certain issues in your life. And in combination with Ansu's in reverse, some of you might have found yourself in a situation where you were required to take a vow of silence in your life, and as a result you join a sacred community or a sacred union with a group of people of whom you have entered a vow of silence and quiet, where you do not speak about the secrets in which your community is required to keep. And this will lead you into a very special bond with those around you. And that is your Viking rune reading with Madame Sharkai.